A question for Notre Dame too is,
Do you join a conference?
well, yeah, do we stay in the ACC?
I
I
think
mean,
I think there's
the thing is right now, as of a contract they signed with the ACC a couple years ago, they play an ACC heavy schedule already.
right.
So, and the basketball team is in the ACC.
Yeah.
So, do they just does this marriage of convenience, as it's been called this year because of COVID, does it continue after this year as they are just a permanent part of the ACC, which to me would seem to make sense because the basketball program's there. But
I mean, for you as a Notre Dame fan all your life, like your schedule changed dramatically this year. You played all ACC teams, so you didn't get to play USC or Nate. Did you play Navy? I don't think you did.
no, we didn't play anyone like that.
So what games did you really miss this year that you
Well, I
wish
think
you
what I
could have
miss,
seen?
what I miss is
Stanford?
which I don't know if this changes if you're in the ACC because you've always got what, 2 non-conference games to start the season, 3.
Yeah.
You get a couple non-conference games. What I
3.
miss is I always miss the Michigan Notre Dame matchup. Or
That was being phased out anyway, though.
Well, that comes on and off the schedule.
Well, so
There's some resentment towards Notre Dame because of how many times they were invited to be part of the Big Ten, and then
they refused and eventually joined the ACC. And this year, reluctantly had to. I'm just wondering.
I don't think they are, honestly.
Well, I think the only reason you would join the ACC is money and potentially an easier path to the college football playoff, which we've seen play out for you already this year. In that you lost a big game last week, but you still make it into the playoffs. So
yeah,
I think the advantages are huge for you guys to finally join.
Is it though?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know that it is. The reason they're not joining is because that means they have to share the NBC TV revenue with the ACC.
Well, that's what they're balancing, though. Are you balancing that revenue versus an easier path into the playoff every year? That's the question for Notre Dame going forward.
Yeah, but I don't know that their schedule would have been, like I said, their schedule is probably not terribly different. As an independent with having to play the 5 ACC games, right? You could still have had Clemson on the schedule. They did the year before. And then they don't play the conference game. So then you have this whole idea that they just would have stayed not that this makes that much of a world of difference, but they would have just stayed number 2 in the country.
Oh, not playing in the championship game.
Yeah. Not playing the championship week.
But you wouldn't be playing Vanderbilt or, whoever else. So I don't know. I guess I'm just posing the question. Just that's what's out there is I think it's an easier path to get to, because you have to have a lot of things work out right for you to get that 4th slot. You have to obviously have the record, but then you also have to have, only 3 of the 5 conferences be better than you. You have to fight all 5 of the conferences. So
that's a totally valid point, but this is going to be the 3rd year they're in the playoffs since this.
So you made it two without being in the ACC.
Yeah, without being in the ACC. So
that's interesting. Well, it's something to look at going forward, because it's all about the money, whether you're going to join or not. So, and I understand not wanting to share that NBC money, but there's also.
That's why the Big Ten's been shunned, is because of the NBC money.
This happened 30 years ago. This is before the NBC money. That's what I was referencing earlier. That may or may not have been cut off. But
that 30 years ago. Okay, I understand that, but that's just like
that's an arrogant
historic thing there.
Thank you.
Yeah.